Good evening and welcome to ABC 31 News Tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. Tonight's big story, the Rapides Parish School Board Superintendent has announced his proposals concerning failing schools in the area. ABC 31's Joanna Phillips has the story.
The Rapides Parish School Board meeting was flooded with the color blue last night as supporters of Bolton High School attended to oppose the superintendent's proposal of merging Alexandria Middle Magnet School with the high school. School Board Superintendent Nason Odemon came prepared with a presentation outlining all of his proposals with detailed explanations and statistics.
We've implemented a multitude of research-based strategies and practices. We've reconstituted schools. We've changed out the principals. We've changed out more than 50% of the teachers in some of those schools. We've provided incentive pay and pay for performance. We've provided ongoing professional development for our teachers. We've implemented data teams where teachers are working collaboratively with one another to identify the most effective research-based strategies to implement to improve student achievement. And the list goes on and on. The issue is again that there is no cure-all for failing schools.
Superintendent Odemon has proposed to close 2 schools, Alma Redwine and Carter C. Raymond. His proposal also includes merging Alexandria Middle Magnet School with Bolton High School, Arthur F. Smith Middle School with Peabody High School, and D.F. Huddle with Julius Patrick. The next school board meeting has not yet been scheduled, but it will take place in a larger venue and will be open for community comments and suggestions.
I put this out on the table. I challenged our community, our board, bring us a better idea. We're looking for solutions. If someone has a better idea than what we've presented this evening, then we're open. We welcome those ideas, but make sure that it's grounded in research and empirical data.
Joanna Phillips, ABC 31 News.
7 state ag and forestry firefighters are in Oklahoma to assist in fighting wildfires there. The firefighters are from different parts of Louisiana and are responding as part of a compact which includes surrounding states. Personnel will be there for about 3 weeks. The home of Tyler Perry's father went up in flames earlier this week in Greensburg near Baton Rouge. Tyler Perry, of course, is a comedian, producer, and actor, well known for his Medea series. The large upscale home belongs to his father, Emmett Perry. Emmett was on the scene but was not harmed as St. Helena Parish firefighters fought the blaze. Firefighters say he was home alone that night when the fire started.
I heard something popping in the attic. And I went upstairs and looked up there. I couldn't smell no smoke. Didn't see nothing burning. When I got in the backyard, I seen some smoke coming from around the fireplace. It's a hurting thing. Some of those things I never will be able to replace.
Perry is staying with family while firefighters continue their investigation into the fire, one of the largest the firefighters have ever battled in that parish. Looks like we have another sunny day ahead. Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers is here with your weather now.
Hey Scott, yeah, a lot of sunshine out there for today. Once again, we'll keep the sunshine going the next couple of days, keep it pretty dry around our area too, eventually getting our temperatures back closer to average. Maybe not so much tomorrow, but especially by Friday, should see temperatures back into at least the mid-70s. Our normal high this time of year is 71. We're well below that today. Only hit a high of 59 here in Alexandria, 56 degrees a high in Natchitoches, 62 in Baton Rouge, and 58 degrees in Shreveport. So I have a few clouds increasing as we head into your Thursday. Again, a little slightly warmer. Temperatures should get at least into the low to mid 60s in most areas. And see mostly cloudy skies for your Friday. That's when temperatures get back closer to average. That puts them back into the middle to low 70s for our daytime highs on Friday. But by weekend, we could see a few chances of rain come in. But temperatures will stay warm and still looking like temperatures should be in the 80s by early next week. If not 80s, at least upper 70s. By Monday and Tuesday. So we'll talk more about that with your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few more minutes. Thanks, Chris. 6 area residents and business were honored this morning by the Alexandria Human Relations Commission. Those honored include John McClure, Ingrid Johnson, Michael Parham, Eddie Lashney, Madison Book, Dennis Stewart, and Renegade Harley Davidson. These awards are given each year to praise individuals, institutions, and businesses who enrich the lives of others through community service, education, and the arts. The Spirit of Community Awards recipients are selected by an 8-member commission, which is headed by Liz Brazelton. The 5th Foodapalooza is set for tomorrow and Friday with a little taste for everyone.
Foodapalooza started out and still is really a celebration. of the local food movement of Central Louisiana. It's an opportunity for anybody who cares about local food, who cares about local communities, who is a grower, who likes to eat healthy food, to come together, to inspire one another, to connect, and again, just to celebrate.
You can visit Senla Local Foods on Facebook for more information. Arthur F. Smith Middle School welcomed the NASA Stennis Space Center Office of Education today for an all-girls assembly. It was based on the storyline of the movie Hidden Figures that chronicles the story of 3 African-American women who served in vital roles at NASA during the early years of the U.S. space program.
I think that our students are some of the most outstanding students in Rapides Parish. They excel in areas from math, science, English, math, every subject area. So this opportunity will give them just broaden their horizons to think beyond something local, to think beyond something in our state and go just national.
My favorite part about the program was they motivated young girls to succeed in life, make them want to motivate other people, to make them want to reach their goals.
The students were able to learn about fields in math, science, and engineering from the NASA education specialists and talk with females who work with NASA via virtual connections. The NASA staff invited the students to participate in hands-on activities later in the day, and they also had an opportunity to spend one-on-one time with some of those educators. Start a Heart Senla is entering its 4th year as a free bystander CPR training event. Annually, more than 300,000 people die in the U.S., or I should say experience sudden cardiac arrest outside of a hospital. The event educates people on why CPR and AED training are important and helps them get some hands-on training.
The reason is simple. We teach life-saving skills. Anybody can learn how to perform CPR. The likelihood that someone is going to go into sudden cardiac arrest is probably going to happen in your own home. 4 out of 5 times, someone within your home will go into cardiac arrest. That's why these simple skills that you can learn for free in the course of a 2-hour period are so vital for you to come out and learn.
This year, Start a Heart Senla will take place on Saturday, April 1st at the Alexandria Riverfront Center. The event is free and will have morning and afternoon sessions. You can learn more by visiting startaheartsenla.org. Big news out of Washington today on President Trump's taxes and his claims that he was wiretapped by President Obama. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is covering it all from Washington.
Leaders of the House Intelligence Committee say there is no evidence President Trump was ever wiretapped.
I don't think there was an actual tap of Trump Tower.
The top Democrat on the committee called for President Trump to officially retract his statement that former President Obama had Trump Tower wiretapped.
It deeply concerns me that the president would make such an accusation without basis.
And the Republican chairman, Devin Nunes, says perhaps Trump's tweets should not be taken literally.
Are you going to take the tweets literally? And if you are, then clearly the president was wrong.
Meanwhile, 2 pages of Trump's income taxes from more than a decade ago are out after the president spent the last year during the campaign refusing to release them. Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist David K. Johnston says he received the 2-page tax summary of the president's 2005 in the mail anonymously and then released them. It shows an income of nearly $153 million. Trump ended up paying $38 million in federal taxes. His tax rate, about 25%. And Trump declared $103 million in losses. Democrats still want the president to release his full tax returns like other presidents since Nixon.
They were just merely a little, as we say in Minnesota, a cocktail weenie appetizer, right? It was just a tiny, tiny piece of what we want to see.
And we're also hearing from Attorney General Jeff Sessions on these wiretapping claims. He says as the nation's top law enforcement official, he never indicated to the president that President Obama had him wiretapped. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Still ahead tonight, a look at treating breast cancer. Plus, the latest on the president's plan to overturn Obamacare. The battle over health care continues. Democrats versus Republicans and even Republicans versus Republicans. President Trump and House Speaker Paul Ryan are pushing hard for the GOP plan, but after that CBO report, opposition is mounting. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
For millions across the country, the fight is personal. And now the pushback against the GOP plan to repeal and replace.
God forbid that another catastrophic situation happen, we'll be bankrupt.
Speaker Ryan, the architect of that plan, defends it to Fox News and says Republicans must keep their pledge to dismantle Obamacare.
We have an obligation to keep our promises, to pass the reforms that we told people we would pass.
But even much of his own party's not happy. Conservative members calling it Obamacare light and saying the plan doesn't go far enough in undoing Obamacare. And moderate members worry about that CBO estimate, showing that the new plan would leave 24 million uninsured over the next decade.
Trump care would be a nightmare for the American people, causing tens of millions to lose coverage.
But the White House comes to the defense of that proposed American Health Care Act, arguing the CBO assessment did not factor in other regulatory changes that haven't been fully announced yet. But the example of how much more a senior would pay under the GOP plan is scaring Republicans. A 64-year-old with a $26,000 salary could see a huge spike in their premiums. Estimates from $1,700 a year under Obamacare to nearly $15,000 under the GOP plan, a nearly $13,000 a year increase.
And a new government report shows that even as Republicans are trying to dismantle Obamacare, more than 12 million people have signed up for the coverage this year. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
How much is too much when it comes to treating breast cancer? Here's Dr. Timothy Johnson with a look at overtreatment.
It's tough enough to fight cancer, from fear to surgery to radiation or chemotherapy. But for many women who have early-stage breast cancer, this journey may be more perilous than it has to be, according to a new study from Duke University. Researchers looked at more than 40,000 cases of early breast cancer, and they concluded that 60% of the women who could have received a shorter duration of radiation or none at all were instead treated with more radiation than they needed. The cost of overtreatment is emotional and physical, but it's financial too. On a yearly basis, this study claims that $164 million could be saved, money that was spent on what may be unnecessary treatment. This new evidence supports the Choosing Wisely initiative, urging physicians to consider shorter courses of radiation for patients with early-stage breast cancer of particular types. That's because evidence shows that for these women, shorter treatment can yield the same favorable outcomes. Of course, every doctor and every patient is unique, and cancer patients need in-depth discussion of their particular disease. But it's worth noting that sometimes less can be more. With this Medical Minute, I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson.
All right, so we're not exactly talking blizzards out there, but still a little bit of a wintry feel.
Yeah, definitely a lot. Temperatures below where they should be this time of year. Temperatures into the upper 50s here late this afternoon. About 11 degrees, 12 degrees below where they need to be for this time in March. Our normal highs are in the 70s. Now we start a little bit warmer tomorrow, probably into the 60s at least. And then the 70s return for your Friday, and that could last right into the upcoming weekend. And we'll talk more about that with your full forecast when we come back. And a good Wednesday evening. Welcome back, everyone. Temperatures on the cooler side once again. Had a little wind out there this afternoon, too, producing temperatures even a little chillier than what we saw here. Temperatures about 12 to 15 degrees below where we should be for this time in March, but there is some warmer weather getting back into our area. Going to take another day or two to get here, so we'll probably get back at least into the 60s for your Thursday, and then see those 70s return by the time we get to Friday, and that could last right into the weekend. Still looking like close to 80 next week, so definitely seeing some nice warm up in our forecast here over the next several days. But it was a chilly one out there today. High only 58 degrees up in Shreveport late this afternoon, 61 degrees down in Lake Charles, 62 degrees over in Baton Rouge, 59 degrees here in Alexandria, and 54 degrees a high today in Monroe. Outside right now, then, mostly sunny skies. Temperature stands at 58 degrees. It feels like 58 too, as our dew point's back into the 30s. 34 degrees is where our dew point is at. East winds about 7 miles per hour, and our pressure is holding steady. So for our Thursday, we'll see mostly clear skies as we start the day, and temperatures once again on the colder side in the upper 30s to near 40 as you wake up around 7 o'clock in the morning. And by afternoon hours, should see those temperatures get back into the mid to upper 60s but may see a few more clouds start to move in as well. So we'll go partly to mostly cloudy through the day. South-southeast winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So increasing clouds throughout the day on your Thursday, but definitely seeing some warmer temperatures, getting a little bit closer to average. Again, our average is in the low 70s. Should hit that by Friday, at least low to mid 70s expected, with mostly cloudy skies around by the time we get to Friday afternoon. But as the weekend approaches, and especially on Saturday, could see some isolated showers or thunderstorms move in, but temperatures are going to stay warm, looking like the 70s hanging around for the weekend. Again, could be looking at upper 70s to low 80s by early next week. Let's take a look at our surface map then as we get into your Thursday. Again, really not showing too much going on around our area. That high pressure system that's been bringing that chilly air starts to finally move off to the east. And behind that, then we start to bring some southerly winds back in. Now, it's also going to bring some moisture in too, but that moisture is going to hold off for a couple days. Going to see a little bit of rain develop in parts of Texas. Even see a little more rain up in parts of the Midwest and the parts of Arkansas and Tennessee. But there is warmer weather out there, again, over in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, back into New Mexico, seeing those temperatures warm pretty nicely, and that's eventually going to get here, but it's just going to take a few more days. But by the weekend, I think we'll see temperatures back above average here in central Louisiana. 37 degrees for tonight, partly cloudy skies. Again, on the chilly side, east winds about 5 to 10 miles per hour. For your Thursday then, 68 degrees the high temperature. Again, mostly cloudy skies. Just a few more sunshine though too. We're going to see a few clouds out there, but we'll call it partly to mostly sunny. South-southeast winds at about 5 to 10. Here's that 7-day forecast in. 76 degrees the high for your Friday. Into the low 70s by Saturday and Sunday. There's that chance of rain on Saturday. Here comes those 80s next week. By Monday, could be looking at a high reaching about 81 degrees. Scott?
McDonald's begins testing its new mobile app this month, and Ticketmaster wants humans to buy concert tickets, not robots. Jane Kane is the NASDAQ market side with those stories and more in today's Tech Report.
McDonald's is trying to avoid any hiccups in its new mobile ordering system, so it's planning to have multiple pilot tests to work out the kinks and streamline the integration with the company's existing technology systems before it is rolled out to almost all of its restaurants by the end of the year. McDonald's says the app will reduce errors and cut transaction times. Well, Energizer Xbox control chargers being recalled over burn hazards, and all 121,000 controllers are affected by this. And the Consumer Product Safety Commission says it's received 24 reports of the chargers overheating and deforming the charger's plastic cover. Well, Ticketmaster launching a new program that will use ticket buyers' profiles to help verify they're actually humans. This is an attempt to weed out the ticket bots that buy up huge rounds of tickets. Recode says the software will ask users for phone numbers, emails, and social media accounts so it can verify the person is it's a real person actually buying those tickets. Well, the head of Impinj, a maker of radio frequency tags that allow tracking of items through the internet, says as much as we use the web now, it is just in its infancy in terms of what it can actually do.
The internet gets extended to items, to everyday items in your world, and you as an individual, as a person, will be able to interact with those items. Know where they are, know that an item you're going to buy is genuine and not fake.
He says the next phase of the internet will help us all lead more efficient lives and save a lot of time. From the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Jane King with your Tech Report.
Coming up in sports, history has been made by the NSU softball program. And we'll take you to Alaska and show you why history was also made at the popular Iditarod race.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Charlie Lapastoro. The NSU track team is having a huge week. Not only did they win the 2017 Bob Hayes Cup, 2 track and field athletes are being recognized for putting in that work. Michael Larkins and Kelsey Frank swept the Southland Conference Track and Field Athlete of the Week honors today. Larkins got 2 wins in sprint events, and Frank recorded a winning javelin throw. They helped lead their team to that Bob Hayes Cup with the best combined men's and women's point total. And history has been made as NSU senior Kelly Kincannon broke the program's career marks in total bases and RBIs in the last 2 weekends. Kincannon has good history against playing La Tech, the team they're playing tonight. The NSU site noted that she could add to those totals substantially tonight with 17 RBIs and going 12 for 24 in 6 career games against them. And history was also made Tuesday as the world-famous Iditarod sled dog race came to a finish. Mitch Seavey won his 3rd Iditarod, beating his son Dallas, who is the defending champion. Seavey finished the 979-mile race, and get this, 8 days, 3 hours, and 40 minutes. It makes him the oldest winner in the race's history at 57 years old, breaking his own record.
Good things and bad things happen. There's a lot of luck that plays into it. This was a fairly easygoing year for us, no big disasters or anything, so it happened the way we planned it. But I like to be able to know what the dogs will do and then fairly ask them to perform at what they've been trained to do.
Well, members of the U.S. women's hockey team are threatening to not play in the World Championships at the end of this month over wages and the lack of support from USA Hockey. Players posted a statement on Twitter today asking for fair wages and equitable support for youth team development, travel expenses, hotel accommodations, and marketing and publicity. The U.S. women's team has won gold in 6 of the last 8 World Championships. And when you do something cool, chances are you're taking a video, picture, or going Facebook Live and posting that to your timeline. Well, in the CEO of Facebook's case, he has an experience definitely Facebook posting worthy, as he got to experience what it's like inside a NASCAR vehicle. Oh, and by the way, while it's going full speed with the NASCAR driver behind that wheel, Mark Zuckerberg rode shotgun with Dale Earnhardt Jr. It happened at Charlotte Motor Speedway as Earnhardt Jr. drove around 170 miles an hour. Zuckerberg also was able to drive his car while Earnhardt Jr. played crew chief. Of course, naturally, it was all over Facebook Live. And it's all a part of Zuckerberg's year-long challenge to visit all 50 states, hoping to learn more about different communities so that Facebook can have a positive impact on the world.
Yeah, I don't think it matters if you're Mark Zuckerberg or not. If you're driving a race car, you're probably going to want to put that up on Facebook.
Yeah, probably.
All right, we're back right after this. Polar bear cub born to a mother bear in northern Finland walked out of its nest for the very first time. This is the second polar bear cub ever born in captivity in Finland. The successful procreation of polar bears kept in captivity, you see, is extremely rare. The first 24 hours are the most critical. A third of newborn cubs actually die during this period. Half of the cubs die before they reach the age of 5 days and nights, and within a month, only about 40% remain alive.
Wow.
So happy to see that one's doing all right. Thanks for watching.